Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Houtz and this is my webinar on handbooks, which is part of Bob and Smith's Chapter 15 of Reference and Information Services textbook. So the main purpose of a handbook is to provide quick information about a certain subject and is meant to serve as a guide with all the information possible or limited compressed into a single volume or a series. They are also known as reference guides or pocketbooks. Features of a handbook often include charts, illustrations, models, formulas, tables, historical information, and lists of organizations that are connected to a subject. Basic knowledge by the patron is handy, but not required. But if it's not used with someone who has the basic knowledge, the terminology and controlled vocabulary might seem a little confusing. So, what do we consider handbooks today then? Since a lot of different formats hold multiple sources, when you use the right search terms, you have instant access to a specific subject. So, in consideration, a lot of things could be considered a handbook, such as databases, indexes, websites, ebooks, directories, phone books, censuses, networking sites, and of course the old-fashioned physical handbook. So I would just like to take a second to mention something that I found a little bit confusing in the book. Bob and Smith actually mention manuals right after the handbook section and describe them having the same function. And I would just like to clarify that they're actually not doing the same function, but they're almost the same thing. The real difference is manuals actually provide instructions and handbooks do not. They provide facts. So I provided a small example with these two books on Ford Mustangs, which I love. And the one on the left would be considered a handbook on the car, giving facts of all the makes and models, listing all the specifications of each engine, color, interior options, MPG, and a history on how the Mustang came to be. The book on the right, however, should never really go out of your glove box unless you really want to learn what a certain dashboard light means. Then, after you do learn what that dashboard light means, you have the chance to fix it yourself and it'll have the instructions for you. Or if you're not as handsy with cars as you might like, you can have the option of taking it to an auto repair shop. So really, in a nutshell, the only difference between these two books is the book on the left-hand side is a subject book, and then the book on the right-hand side is a manual of instruction on a certain subject, if that makes sense. So, handbooks can be really on anything you can think of. From English help, such as the APA manual that we have for our classes, to survival guides, like how to survive a zombie apocalypse. And again, are really meant for the general public for a secondhand reference. So, these are two examples of handbooks that start out as physical books and have evolved over the years into these big enterprises. My first favorite that I'm going to briefly explain is the Guinness World Records, formerly known as the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm going to exit out of this site. And just to give you a brief history, the Guinness World Records book started out by a Sir Hugh Beaver, who actually went on a hunting trip with friends in Ireland, and he was the managing director of Guinness at the time. And his friends were laughing at him because he couldn't shoot a golden plover, which is a type of bird. He then claimed that it might be one of the fastest birds that he ever hunted, Well, they returned from the trip and they tried to find the answer to his little debate in a reference book, but really couldn't find the answer. And this sparked the idea of he wanted to create a book that settled debates and bar bets. The first book was distributed and free in London in 1955, and the demand was actually proven so high in popularity that 3 editions were made over the next 3 months, and these books actually became known as fact checkers. And over time, because of the book's popularity, it was written in multiple languages and opened many offices all over the world, and it's become of what we know today. So before I give you a quick tour of the website, I'm just going to go ahead and show you this video.
Amazing represents what we think of our record breakers and is how we describe Guinness World Record holders to the whole world. The vision of our business is to be the ultimate global authority on record breaking. Our mission is to discover, to measure, to verify the world's superlatives, and in so doing, inspire ordinary people to do extraordinary things. So at the heart of Guinness World Records are our record breakers. Record breakers come in all forms, from members of the public to massive world superstars, whether they are President Obama, Jackie Chan, to Korean pop superstar phenomenon, Psy. In any one year, we process some 50,000 record claims and inquiries. We ourselves have offices in London, New York, Tokyo, Beijing, and in Media City in Dubai. The main Christmas book has a strong global reach in that it's published in 20 languages, sold in 100 countries, and since it was first introduced in 1955, we've now sold over 130 million of our Christmas annual. Guinness World Records is designed for a wide range of age groups and genders. We have a very strong presence on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter with over 40,000 followers. Guinness World Record works with the global TV industry to publicise our amazing record breakers. We've got a TV show, for example, in China with CCTV1 that gets to some 450 million Chinese homes every year. And we make TV shows specific to the audiences in Italy and in Germany and the UK and the US. Businesses work with Guinness World Records for one or a combination of the following 5 reasons. 1, because we get to a wide demographic group. 2, that we give a seal of approval, a certificate of performance. Thirdly, that we can design record-breaking challenges to support the values of a particular organisation. 4th, that we generate a whole load of publicity. Lastly, also, you can design programs that staff really enjoy. Guinness World Records offers something unique to the individual and to the business. Our never-ending mission is to find and inspire record breakers in whatever form they come, whatever industry, whatever age, and whatever country.
Okay. So, thank you, Alistair Richards. I'm going to go ahead and go to the site. And like I said, Guinness is probably one of the most popular and well-known handbooks throughout the world. They actually do have a record breaker summer challenge for libraries in the UK, which I actually found funny and can relate back to libraries. So if you have the time, definitely check it out. And then just to give you an example of how this could be considered a handbook. Why is it not loading? Okay. So this is Zeus, and he measures 1.118 in centimeters, and he's actually here in the United States. There's a little video about him, but you know, it's just fun, factual information about a dog who is really tall compared to this cat. So, going off a little topic and going back to the presentation. Next book I want to go over is the Kelley Blue Book. And a little information about the Kelley Blue Book and how it started was in 1918, Les Kelley actually started the Kelley Car Company. And it actually became one of the largest dealerships in the world. And eventually, Kelley learned how to sell and buy or trade any multiple cars at once. So in the 1920s, he distributed lists to bankers and other dealerships of cars that he wanted to buy and the price that he'd be willing to pay for them. So he got this idea of wanting to spread the word of the same service to different people for themselves. So then he published the Blue Book of Motor Car Values, which is what we know as the Kelley Blue Book of today. So here is the interface of the website. And it gives you, different categories by make, the type of MPG. You can look by SUV match. There are resources on how to, compare your own car to others, get values, cars in your area for sale. That's really handy. So I'm going to go ahead and click on convertible because why not? And looky here, we're back to 2015 Ford Mustangs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. So this gives factual information about the 2015 Ford Mustang pricing, the fair purchase price. It can show you different formats, so photos, videos, all the different colors that it comes in. And what I like about this site and how it updated, it actually shows you the physical location of where these cars are being sold. So if you're having a midlife crisis, this can come in really handy. But again, it's just facts about the prices and then what other people have paid for. It doesn't really give facts unless you really research what the car is itself. Of course, you should always research a car before you buy it. But again, you can look at customer reviews, you can look at MPG, good ratings, all that fun stuff. So, more examples that I want to mention are famous first facts, statistical abstracts, and then the occupational handbook. And the reason why I want to show you these is that they're all different in their own way. Famous First Facts is actually a book. There are 7 editions now, and it pretty much has facts on everything that's become famous. Handbooks are created after events. The physical ones are. The electronic ones can be updated, but series like these are actually created over a certain amount of time and are checked by references and professionals just to make sure everything's straight and true. So then we have the statistical abstract, and this gives the Census Bureau the data of what the population is going through and what it has. And just to show you that this does include a list of, again, different categories you can look and choose from. And then the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Again, it's a handbook. It has a list. You can choose different categories, and you can just quickly look up information based on actual facts. So, Bob and Smith actually also mention a number of different handbooks. They actually mentioned the Hoover's Handbook of American Businesses. They mentioned the Complete Book of the Olympics, and then they mentioned even Cliff Notes and Master Plots, but I really won't get into those. And that really concludes this presentation on handbooks. I hope you enjoyed it and found it educational. And I hope you guys have a great semester break, and hopefully I will see you again. Thanks for watching.